Nirvriti, chapter 23. In the previous chapter, in 22, Atma expressed its disappointment, saying that the purpose of this world was not understood. And that is where the illusion multiplied. If this purpose is understood, then there would be not so much of a problem. And the end goal of everything is what? To realize the Atma. And the method of realizing the Atma has been given in this last chapter. So this is very important. Nirvriti, chapter 23. Drishya Prabanchavum Anubhavavum. Experience and the objective world. Here drishya, the word drishya means that which is perceived. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling, sensation. All fall under the umbrella of drishya. Prapancha is a very interesting word. It means the degree or the extent to which the drishya extends. Till how far this drishya goes. The extent of the illusion is prapancha. And anubhavam, experience. But on Atmananda's path, it means direct seeing. So the title itself means the direct seeing of the extent of the conceptual proliferation of the universe that is only sensually cognizable. I'll explain this as we go deeper. There's a reason why I called it sensually cognizable universe. Atmananda is attempting to show you the entire Jagat Mithya journey in these last two chapters. And those who are sharp enough get it. So that's just the title. Before we go into the verses, the most important thing today is to brush up a little bit on our physics. Some of you did it at school level, some of you did it at junior college level. What science says is that this world, this external physical world of objects of sight, objects of sound, objects of taste, objects of touch, and objects of smell. This external physical world, we cannot see directly through the eye. Eyes cannot directly see light. We detect something, and that something is light being reflected by an object. And the mind creates an internal image of the object. It's internal, it's in the mind. We see the internal model in the mind. We do not see an actual external object out there. There is also a neuroscientist discussion video that we had seen, Reality of Reality. In that they had mentioned that our reality isn't actual external world reality. What we see is the subjective mind model. This means you are only seeing an image of Ekta in your mind right now. You have no proof whether Ekta really exists out there in an external physical world. Those who are watching on the computer, you are only seeing an idea, a subjective mind model of a computer. You are not able to actually perceive a computer. And then obviously pictures on that, Ekta on that is even more subjective mind model. This the scientists call as representationalism. Detecting light is an integral part of the process called seeing, but we do not see light itself, they say. If we did, we would actually be blinded by a thick multicolored fog. So even in the scientific language, if they use the word visible light, you should not be fooled by it. The scientists say that visible light refers to that light by which we see. It does not mean that we see light directly. So those who have forgotten this panel discussion, the name of the video is The Reality of Reality. I would request one of the volunteers to share with the group later. So to sum it up, the light reflects from different parts of an object, creates an image in my mind. I never see an external physical world of object. I only see a mental image of that object and believe that that object is in an external physical world. And that video, it's very nicely said by one of the female scientists that we have never stepped into an external physical world ever. We see, hear, touch, taste, and smell in our minds. So this is a little refresher of that talk. So become very clear, perception is inside out. This is what the scientists say, because they still believe there is an outside. We cannot reach there, but there is an outside. That is what scientists believe. Now let's see what Atmananda has to say. We'll begin with verse 23.1. So Atmananda is saying the same thing what the scientists say, bar one. Bar one means what? Barring that assumption that there is an external physical world. Scientists say there is an external physical world. We just don't see it. We don't step out into that. But it is there. Atmananda goes one step further, one dive deeper, and he says it doesn't even exist. What you cannot experience cannot exist. Now we'll see how Atmananda explains it. He says that only experience of something can prove its existence. For example, right now, you are experiencing the words of this Advaita knowledge. You're experiencing the sight of Ekta. You're experiencing shape, size, color, function, touch, taste, smell. All these put together right now are creating a little illusory reality for you, which you are picturing as the Advaita session. All this proves to me that I am experiencing an Advaita knowledge session in a waking world. That's the meaning of the first line. It is experience that must prove the existence of anything, and an object as such is never experienced, is the second line. Let's understand the second line now. He says in the second line, an object is never experienced. Never. For example, he's saying this phone is never experienced. But I can touch it, I can see it, I can smell it. In the first line, He put all those factors and said that that which is experienced, that exists. But now you're saying that an object is never experienced. We understood this from the scientific angle. Scientists say that you've never stepped out into the external physical world. You only see the mental model. How do you see this? In your direct seeing. Science is in the lab, done with all kinds of experimental instruments. But on the spiritual path, this is the lab. Science has a lot of assumptions. Starts with the assumption that there is an external world of objects. It's just that we don't step out into the external world. But here, on the path of spirituality, we don't go with belief. At least on the path of direct experience, we do not go with belief. This is our laboratory and we need to see directly. That is why I say that spirituality dives one level deeper than science. So let's understand this from direct seeing. In your direct seeing of Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, first what do you see? What arises first from the deep sleep? In deep sleep, there is nothingness. What arises first from the deep sleep? Do you recognize it is the sense of I? It's just I. The I comes up first. For this I to see something in the dream, it has to first assume I am seeing. Then only will it be able to perceive an object of sight. So in your own Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, number one, the I arises first. Number two, the sense of sight arises, but it is attached to the I. It is a thought. Just like I was a thought, the idea I am seeing is also a thought. When there is the I, there is no seeing. When there is I am seeing, there is a sense of being able to perceive. The object might have not come into perception yet. But the second level of I am seeing is clearly distinguishable from the first level of just the I thought. Clear? So first is I thought, second is I am seeing, and then comes whatever you are seeing in your dream. So first is I, then is I am seeing, and then is I am seeing the tiger. This is the exact sequence as directly seen in Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. As most of you have completed all 100 points of Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, you should be able to see this higher level recognition or seeing. Do you realize it yet? Do you see it yet? In the dream state and in the waking, in both you will see it. So I'll explain again. I'll just brush up on the dream and then we'll go to waking. Every night, this is recognized in the dream that the dream object appears after the sense of sight appears. And the sense of sight is attached to the I. Means there is the notion I am, then I see, and then the dream object. I see the tiger. In your own direct experience, do you recognize that the dream tiger was dependent on the dream sense faculty? Yeah. I see the tiger only when I see. So the object was dependent on the sense of seeing. Number one homework for you. Do I recognize that the object is dependent on the sense? Then question number two. Is this very clear that the sense faculty is dependent on the eye sense? And question number three. First is I thought, second is I see, and third is I see the tiger. Do I see it in this sequence? Very clear? If I see these 3 points, that is direct seeing. Then I can confidently claim that I see this entire process of what the scientists say that we create a mental model. Oh, I see it in my dream itself. And in the dream, where are the senses? Where was the sense of seeing? Are they on the physical body of the waker lying in bed? Is there really a waker lying in bed and a dream character? No. There was no waker, there was no physical body of the waker, and there was no physical eyes of the waker. Then how do I see the dream tiger? The physical eyes are not there in the dream. So this implies that the sense of light is in the mind. And that sense of light, that tanmatra, is what is actually the sense of sight. Chakshur Indriya, sense of sight. It is in the mind because the dream tiger is in the mind. This is what direct seeing confirms. We are still at the dream level. So now at this dream level, I have a confirmation that the sense of sight, Chakshur Indriya, is in the mind. The physical body of the waker is not experienced at all in the dream. Yet, the tiger is seen. Very clear? Now, before I move to the waking, very clearly we have to recognize. I have recognized number one, objects depend on the senses. Means the dream tiger depends on the Chakshur Indriya or the sense of sight. Now, second is this sense of sight is in the mind because the dream is in the mind. That's my second realization. So, where is that object of sight? That is also in the mind. So, what I see is only a mental model. What the scientists call the mental model. What I see very clearly is that objects are in the mind. Yeah. Which means, in short, object is not really being experienced. Is this clear? And in your language, when you get out of a dream, you never say, I experienced a tiger in the dream. You say, I dreamt of a tiger. Do you realize this? An object is not really being experienced. A physical object like a physical world tiger cannot cross over to the mental plane, which means even that tiger which is in my dream is a mental idea, which implies what? That dream objects are never experienced. That is why you never say, I experienced a tiger. You always say, I dreamt of a tiger. Objects are not really being experienced. So now dream is very clear. Now we move on to the waking. Now you ask yourself this question. In the dream, I have already proved that there is no object, that there is only a mental model, a representation. Is it possible that the waking is an extension of the same sense of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling, sensation that was in the dream? Could waking be an extension of the same thing? How do I see it in the waking? You see, there is the wipe of the now. It wipes away everything. Everything blanks out. And then there is that I sense. And then there is the idea I see. And then follows I see Ekta. Are you seeing this happening moment to moment? The wiper of the now blanks out everything. From that blank, first comes the sense I. It's just an I sense. And then there is I hear. And then finally, I hear Ekta's words. Has the mind quietened enough to see this sequence? If not, maybe a long samadhi practice is due. I mean, you sit in samadhi for a long time and the mind really quietens down. And when you're just ready to open the eyes, the sequence becomes evident in the waking. The sense I. And then the sense I see. And then the eyes opened and room appeared. Are you able to recognize this in the waking? And your clue is the wiper of the now. The wiper of the now. Are you able to recognize this continuous wipe moment to moment? It's actually very easy with the sense of sight because you blink. With words, you don't hear sound continuously. So it's very easy. You're not constantly smelling something. There's no odor which is continuously present. So you can really do it with smell. You're not continuously eating. You can taste saliva in your mouth. So experiment with that. Continuous touch is not there, but the sensation of the body coming and going. When the sensation is not there, what has happened? There's the wiper of the now. And suddenly there's the I sense. And then I am something. And then becomes I am this person. So recognize the sequence. These three are very important. So ask yourself this question. Is it possible that the so-called waking world objects are never experienced? Never experienced. Means they are never directly perceived. Is this your direct seeing from your Swapna Nidra Jnana sadhana? Apply all of it to the waking. I explained with dream and the dream tiger. The same thing you apply with the waking. What is Atmananda saying? It is experience that must prove the existence of something. But an object as such is never experienced. How do you read it? You read it as it is direct seeing that must prove the existence of anything. An object as such is never directly perceived. I only see the I thought appear. Then I sense that the I attaches to something. I see, I hear, I taste, I touch, I smell, I think, I feel, I sense. And then the object arises. I see the computer, I hear Ekta's voice, I smell the flowers. I plus the sense, I plus the sense plus the object. All three are thoughts. How can an object be experienced if it is only a thought? First, tonight's Sapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, I attempt to recognize it in the dream and attempt to carry it to the waking in the morning. And see, can I see these three as thoughts? I plus sense, I plus sense plus object.